Are you ready for Halo Reach? Welcome aboard the 4 to 7 Pod, Ascension Podcast Network. I am Chris, and I'm joined with my good friend Jerry, who is in need of serious help.
Shout outs to Deep from Left on Instagram for making these available. I saw that and I said, hey, that is exactly the kind of time I'm on.
Yeah, as his hat so elegantly displays. Although maybe some help has been on the way. The Mets have been have been playing a lot better this past week. Yankees salvaged a split in the series against the Red Sox after dropping Game 1, and yesterday got rained out. I'm not sure if it was an actual rain out or a ducking the smoke rain out, but it seems like
we call that the Morgan Wallen special around here.
Yeah. Don't get the people around here started on that. Good Lord. I just, my sincerest laughs go out to anyone who traveled and or purchased tickets to that event. All I can do is laugh at you. I'm not laughing with you, just to clarify. You are a sucker and a fool.
Poke the tiger.
Yeah. There was no way that any of us could have saw this coming in only country where this is a regular occurrence. Insert Onion article here. But the big news that come out this week is Aaron Judge has a fractured rib. He is out indefinitely. I know that I said it when they first announced that he was going to the IL that they should just, or not even when they announced he was going to the IL, but when they scratched him from the lineup, I even said just put him on the IL now. But here we are. It's a fractured rib. He is out indefinitely. Will be re-imaged in 4 to 6 weeks, and then I guess they'll go from there. And they expect him to come back at some point this season. I would expect him to come back too, but it's probably gonna he's gonna need to go on an absolute tear if he's gonna win a third straight MVP. Right now it's looking like it's gonna be Bobby Witt and Yordan Alvarez battling for that award. But obviously now the focus shifts to the focus shifts to how the Yankees are going to overcome this, and how they're going to be able to I guess survive while Judge is gone. And I'll say this:
this is bad news, but also worst case scenario avoided. Because when I saw initially they were throwing thoracic outlet syndrome.
Yeah, that was
and I'm like, how do you even measure that for a hitter? We obviously know what that does to a pitcher, but I can't think of too many cases of a hitter getting that. How would that even work? So luckily, this ain't great, but it's not that.
Yeah, that was the specialist that he was seeing for testing. So obviously, I'm not going to pretend I know anything about that condition, but definitely sounded bad. It definitely sounded like potential, if not career ending, definitely season ending at the least. So yeah, definitely worst case scenario avoided. And I feel like as far as how the Yankees respond to this, it could go one of two ways. I think either it could be a blessing in disguise, because it could kind of force the Yankees' hands to get aggressive and make a trade that they probably need to make anyway to get some more, offense in their lineup. And, that was something like that, that we were saying they should have done even before all this, unraveled, that, they needed more offense. So this might force their hands into doing that, because, they might have been more content to just roll with the status quo with Judge there. So, it could either increase their urgency, or you could get, or you could get Cashman giving the old company line of, well, there's no better deadline acquisition than getting Aaron Judge and Max Fried off of the IL and standing pat. So time will tell with that. Austin Wells also went to the IL, and they called up.
What sounds like a very painful injury too.
It sounds like a painful injury, but like I have my I have my skepticism of whether or not this is like a phantom IL stint.
I get it, but I feel like usually they would just say it's like, oh, it's a muscle thing. It's a it's like cervical headaches. Like that sounds legit.
Yeah, it is pretty dramatic. If you are just if you are just sending him to the IL to try and like get his mind right. But yeah, the Ali Sanchez era begins in New York now.
Former Met prospect Ali Sanchez.
Yeah, but
now to be clear with the trade thing, I'm wondering, when you said that they need to get offense anyway, do you feel like this is still a necessity of, and I say this on the frame of reference of their right fielder today was Jose Caballero. Do you still look at it as, well, they need to go get a replacement for Judge in right field, or is it, we're fine having Caballero out there, he's a good defender in right field anyway, we still need to fix third base and catcher. Let's get that taken care of, and if we get a supreme upgrade at either one of those positions, that's the injection we needed anyway, regardless of what happens in right field.
Yeah, I think I'd probably lean more towards the latter, that third base and catcher are probably, bigger areas of need. I would say that
Jeff Passan right now lists an ideal target for you guys being Isaac Paredes, and short porch in left field.
Yeah, that is
Isaac Paredes is I believe the stat I saw the other day was Isaac Paredes now has exactly 100 career homers. None of them are to the opposite field.
Yeah. Well, good thing we got a short porch on both sides. But yeah, I would say, Isaac Paredes does make sense. If the Astros, which I don't see why they wouldn't be willing to sell at this point, and that was the Yankees Astros rivalry, if we're being honest, was kind of one-sided. So I don't really see why they wouldn't be willing to do business with us.
Can I say this because I haven't had too many highs this year? It was the Joel Embiid meme. This is not a rivalry. They always kick our ass.
Yeah. If we're being honest about it,
Yankee fans, don't worry. Our version of the rivalry is next weekend. Don't worry.
Yeah. That's like different though, because that's like in division. There's like more. There's a lot more history there, and like you've gotten them a few times.
We got them once.
That one time, but that one time is still like pretty recent. So
it was.
You can still kind of hang it over them. They haven't done shit. They really haven't done shit since then. So until they do something,
they look quite intimidating right now.
Yeah, they do. They do look very good right now. But the Mets were also 45-20 this time last year. So
it's true.
Yeah,
actually,
everything.
Thank you for telling me that. So because I'm gonna taunt my my Braves fans friend, like 45-20 must be smooth sailing from here. This shit finna be a breeze.
Yeah. You can keep that. You can kind of
nothing to worry about.
Yeah, you can keep that one. You can keep that one in your back pocket. Now, if someone like, I'll say this: if someone like, because I think you can get by with Caballero in right field. He can definitely play the position, well enough, and I think he's a hot and cold hitter. He's like perfectly average, I feel. Maybe a slightly below average hitter overall, but like when he's hot, he's pretty hot. But now if like someone were like if an upgrade in the outfield were to become available, like a Mike Trout, not that I'm expecting it, but someone like that were to become available, you definitely would have to, I think you would have to do your due diligence and at least explore the option bringing someone like that in, because I mean, it does sound like Judge is probably going to be out, like, I mean, yeah, definitely at least the 6 weeks, and then I'm expecting that he'll probably, and I also, with the timing of everything, I do kind of wonder, not that I want to be like tinfoil hat, or that I want to, accuse the Yankees of, I guess, negligence as an organization, but he sustained this injury like in a game in May in Houston, or late April rather.
Yeah,
is
Texas,
where he
right?
Yeah, is where, yeah, I believe yeah, I guess it was Texas, where it was like he made like a diving or a sliding catch in like a 7-0 game, which is just nasty work for that to be the way he gets hurt.
And it feels like this wasn't
but
there the issue last year where they were letting him play through this elbow thing without talking to him?
yeah, they had the elbow injury. Yeah, there was the elbow injury, and then for a while he was just DHing, I think, because he couldn't really throw. And then from there, like, I think they ended up shutting him down for like a little bit.
Because then they had Stanton come back, and it was like, well, he has to DH. What can you?
Yeah, I think Stanton even played a couple of games like in the field.
He did.
And like, yeah, I kind of remember that being a thing. And I also remember it like being surprisingly not terrible.
It's one of those things where like, and this has been, I feel like I've said this in other instances for other players, but it's like when you're the organization, it's, yeah, you can't see your team without those guys being out there. And I say this because Lindor did this a couple years ago. Like, he jammed his finger in a hotel door and he played through it for like a month and a half, and he hit like 130. And it's like, you have to save these guys from themselves. They'll always, like, I don't care what what other people say. Like, these guys are,
they're always going to say they're good and that they can play.
Like, they want to play. That this is what they do. Like, the people in charge are the ones that have to say, like, oh, hey man, we were watching you. You were grimacing. You were holding your right side. Let's just give you a couple days, all right? It's late.
Yeah, or the X-rays say it's broken. Let's
just like
let's
believe he said to like stop taking warm-up swings. It's like, you're here for your bat. If you can't even get ready to hit, that's a problem.
Yeah, not that I think the Yankees would be negligent about it, but like, clearly it was something that he had been dealing with, and I guess it finally started to like bother him to a point, and like, like the I guess like the week or so before he went on IL, his numbers were like taking he was in kind of a slump, and his numbers were taking a dip. So I do kind of wonder if like maybe they knew that when it happened, maybe they didn't think it was going to be remind me what the specialist he saw was, the condition.
Thoracic outlet syndrome.
Yeah, maybe they didn't think it was going to be anything like that, or they probably didn't even think it was going to be a broken rib, but like, it seems like they knew he was hurt and that he had something that was nagging him, and then maybe they kind of decided, all right, you know what, like, it's June. This is kind of a shitty time for us. This is like a shitty time of year for us. With Judge and with our full lineup, usually, like, maybe now's a good time to just kind of shut him down and give him a reset, and with the goal of building him up to come back like late August or like early September to be able to build himself up for for a playoff run.
Yeah, you miss having to do all the stuff for the All-Star game. Like, you can just be home. You miss the dog days, like, because I feel like everyone hits it late July, and I think especially in the Yankees case, and this has been true for probably the past handful of years, when you get to August, you're in. It's a case of, all right, just get us to October 1st. So, like you're saying, if you bring him back late August, it's, hey, the end goal's in sight. Get ready. And I feel like that probably makes the process a lot easier, because it's, okay, I've got to lock in. I can't mess around with any of this. Like I've got
Like
to be right.
Yeah, like I'm not looking at this like I'm not looking at this like in 2023 when Aaron Judge got hurt, it was like okay, once I think that when he first stubbed his toe on the outfield wall, like the right field wall at Dodger Stadium, I think at first, they were kind of trying to play the whole day-to-day game, and then it was like, oh no, we're just shutting him down for like 3 months. And I think he did end up coming back at the end of that season. But like everyone kind of knew like the season was over when he got hurt. And then they actually kind of almost made the playoffs, or like, they still managed to finish over 500, which did not look like it was gonna, that streak looked like it was in jeopardy that year. So I'm not looking at it like 2023 where, we lost Judge, the season's over. I'm not even looking at it like 2024 where it's like, oh, well, we lost Judge now. Like Juan Soto's the only person that can hit. Like, we have guys that can hit. We've gotten something like when we're winning, we're usually getting that supplemental hitting anyway. I mean,
this was why you paid Cody Bellinger.
Yep. Cody Bellinger. Jazz borrowed Aaron Judge's bat and hit a home run today. Seems like he just needs to wear articles of clothing and use equipment of his teammates, and he'll be just fine.
Jazz Chisholm is used to borrowing.
Yeah.
I'll explain no further.
No explanation necessary. I just pretend I don't hear it. But yeah, you have Bellinger.
MLB.com, by the way, did a who could the Yankees trade for if they wanted to fill that spot? They had Byron Buxton. He's not waiving his no trade clause. Like he said that.
He said it again.
What?
He said that again. Didn't he say that like a few years
in the
ago?
offseason? Because I think there was even a thought that the Braves might make a run for him, and he's from Georgia. He's like, no, I'm just here. Down. This is it.
Yeah. Hasn't he pretty much been adamant? Like, listen, like the Twins never gave up on me, even like when I had all my injuries and all my shit going on. So like, I want to give back to them, and like, I just want to be here for my career.
They do link you to an Angels outfielder. Might not be the one you want.
Who else?
Buddy who had a Jose Canseco moment this week. Joe Adele.
Oh, that would be interesting. I wouldn't hate it. I'm not sure what his Jose Canseco moment was though.
Oh, he literally had a ball hit off him and go out.
Oh yeah, that's right. I guess the baseball gods were punishing him after he like robbed 3 home runs in that one game early in the season. They're like, yeah, you're actually not that good of a defender.
Here's what I would say that would work in favor if they were to do this. He's still the Angels he was their biggest position player prospect since Trout. And I know he had the 37 homer season last year, but he overall has been a disappointment. And it's like we talked about with Adley Rutschman last week. If the Yankees trade for him, it's like, hey, we're not asking you to be that. We're asking you to be an everyday starting right fielder. Like, dude, we got 99 over there. We just need you to hold down the fort until he comes back. And then, we'll get you in where we can. But we're not asking you to save the day. We're just asking you to be playable. Can you do that? And I think him just being away from that, where it's like if he comes to New York, it's, well, they don't know me. They're not expecting anything of me. I haven't been sold as the savior or the next great Yankee. I'm just here. Like that. Like theoretically that could work.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really now that I'm like looking further in his numbers. I'm not really sure. I'm not even really sure how much of an upgrade he would be over like Jose Caballero in right field. I mean, his WAR is kind of in Mark Vientos territory, so that's not.
The reason why that that game he had earlier in the season with the 3 robberies was so amazing? It's because he was like, I think the worst graded defensive outfielder in the league last year.
Yeah,
It's like,
he's
not like, did he
typically
do it?
he's
He's not
typically
supposed to
not.
be doing it.
Yeah, so it seems like everything's it seems like everything's kind of been evening out against him ever since then.
Here's the other names that they listed: Taylor Ward, who's
Now that I wouldn't hate.
And Jaron Duran. I cannot see that.
I cannot see that either. Tennis rackets aside, it would be an intriguing. It would be an intriguing addition, I guess.
It's if I'm Boston, it's like I'm selling him at low value, and like God forbid he turns it around. Like we're never gonna hear the end of it about Mookie Betts. If we trade Jaron Duran to the Red Sox and he takes off, are you kidding?
Yeah, it's just I would say that's just not happening.
Mickey Moniak is listed here. We've talked about him on the show. That would be. He does have another year on his contract, by the way, so you would have him for next year. He can play all 3 outfield spots, and you wouldn't even have to worry of he's leaving Colorado. It's like he's a left-handed hitter. You're bringing him to Yankee Stadium. He's got pop. Like he'll be fine.
Yeah, we got short porch or mile high air. It's all connected.
And Lars Nootbaar, who literally just returned this week, who is good. And like people are going to look at his offensive stats and go, really? Like we're supposed to get excited about that? It's like, no, that's a playable bat who is a really good defender. Like that would be even if for when Judge comes back, like he's an upgrade on Trent Grisham, honestly.
Yeah, you could and like Trent Grisham's. You think he's an upgrade like offensively and defensively, or
defensively at the least? Now, offensively, it's what you value. Like Nootbaar is definitely more of a gets on base and steals kind of guy, whereas Trent Grisham, when he's cooking, has pop. So depending on what you want for your lineup, you could call it even. But defensively, he's better.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even to have him as like as depth and as like a defensive replacement, like late in innings when you're trying to lock down games, like that could be valuable. He comes from not that he's won anything with the Cardinals, but he's coming. You at least know he's coming from like a competent organization, so. I think he wouldn't have trouble like fitting in, like with the Yankees and what they're doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so those are some intriguing names. The more I've thought about it, the more I do like the whole the whole idea of trading for CJ Abrams and putting him at third. I think that could I think that could play for us. But yeah, I don't think they necessarily need to trade for an outfielder, at least not now. Because I mean, Spencer Jones has looked better since coming. Granted, it's a very small sample size, but Spencer Jones actually looked like he belonged in the game on Friday, and then naturally, because he had such a good game, the Yankees didn't start him today because I guess unless I guess the Yankees do this thing where unless you're like Ben Rice and you're just like, no, actually I can fucking hit lefties, like you're an idiot for not playing me every day. If you're like a younger player, they're not going to trust you to they're just not going to trust you to face lefties. So
even then Ben Rice had to earn that.
No, like even at the beginning of the season. And I mean, the fact that Paul Goldschmidt is playing as well as he is, like, kind of makes it look not as bad. But, I mean, we're at a point now where, like Goldschmidt, Rice, and Bellinger are like who we're really counting on, to, like pick up the pieces and like carry the offense, while Judge is out.
And Jazz to a lesser degree.
Yeah, Jazz to Jazz to whatever degree, whatever degree wearing Giancarlo Stanton's pants help him. But I mean,
that's what I can't even believe those fit. That's
yeah. I mean, I guess it depends what your definition of fit is, but yeah, they do. He wears them. I'll say that.
Listen, I'm not trying to have a Steve Lyons situation out there on the field, so
yeah. Anything to avoid that.
Yeah, I don't need people checking. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I know. What I'm packing is, it's between me, my woman, and God.
And you ain't either.
Yeah, unfortunately not. But yeah, going forward now, the Yankees will play they'll play the second part of their Cleveland sandwich, and they played Cleveland at home last week. They'll go for 3 on the road against Cleveland to start the new week. We got Gavin Williams versus Will Warren going tomorrow. I guess this is a good problem to have as for me, but so like whenever the baseball schedule comes out, like Cleveland is always like I always look to see, all right, when are the Yankees playing Cleveland, right? Because like if the Yankees play, Yankees, the way the schedule works now, like the Yankees play at the Pirates every other year.
Right.
So last year they played at Pittsburgh. So, this year they'll play each other in New York. So, the next closest city where, I could go see the Yankees play if they're not coming here is Cleveland. So I guess this is a pretty good problem to have if you're me. But, I always say, I'm going to, try and make it to at least one of those games in Cleveland. But I don't think I will, only because tomorrow there's other things going on. Knicks halfway to an NBA championship. Tuesday I could go, but I think we're gonna go to the Dodgers Pirates game Tuesday. That would be like the one I can maybe in theory make it to. And then Wednesday is a 1:00 game for the Yankees in Cleveland, so that just doesn't really work with my schedule.
And Wednesday could be the day, so
it very well could be. And I'm still trying to figure out like what I want to do if it could be the day, so it all depends on, the results of tomorrow's game. And obviously the Knicks need to rise above all the all the bad voodoo that all the bad voodoo that Donald Trump is bringing their way. I think they're good enough to do it though, to rise above it. But like basically, if we go up 3-0 tomorrow, like I'm gonna have decisions to make. Now, I'm not in any position to drop 15 to 20K or however much tickets to Game 4 would be, but I have to decide, like, am I just gonna watch the game at home like I've been doing, which seems to have been working pretty well for the most part. Like, do I just continue doing that, or like this may never happen again, and it would be cool to at least be in New York City for when it could potentially happen.
I've had this thought, like the couple times that we've been close, at least since I've become an adult with like decent money flow.
Yeah.
If it were to ever happen, I mean, I don't know if I'd be able to afford the tickets, and I mean, who knows what my life situation would be. But if it happens, I'm absolutely going to the parade.
Yeah,
I might not be able to swing the time of going to a game and affording the tickets and everything that comes with that, and that's fine. I'm not saying to feel bad for me or not, but if they get it done, I want to be there for them to wheel that. I want to be in the Canyon of Heroes. I want to be able to throw ticker tape stuff towards them. I want to yell thank you. I want to cheer all those guys. So that, to me, that would be the move. I'm not saying that needs to be the move for everybody. I'm just saying me personally. If I were a fan and I was thinking about it.
That I've always debated that, because I mean, I've never gone to a championship parade before, and I'm not a big parade person. So like, I don't know if I would, like, I kind of debate like, oh, would I, if one of my teams won, like, would I go to the parade just because it's like happening, and like, who knows if you'll get a chance to go? Like, is that a good enough reason to go? Or like, like, is the parade even going to really be fun? Or are you just going to like be outside, like drinking, trying to find a place to piss the whole time?
Yeah, that good point.
So like, I don't know. I mean, I guess you could go to the parade and not drink, but
yeah. I guess I would look at it in a sense of, if you're worried about that situation, you could always look at it as, well, it's, it'll be like midday when they do the parade. That's what the rest of the day is for.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you could like hold yourself together during the parade, and then find somewhere to get after it after the parade's over.
I'm sure there'll be plenty of places offering.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Probably be hard to get into that. I'm sure everywhere will just be like packed to the brim. But yeah. It's can be difficult to decide like what you're gonna do in these situations, because I mean, I think the obvious easy answer is, oh yeah, go to the game. But when tickets are over $10,000, it's not that simple.
Yeah.
Now, if this thing does get pushed to a game 5, maybe going to San Antonio for a game 5 could be on the table. I mean, it wouldn't be cheap, but it would be like at least doable and palatable.
Yeah, that I feel like since the finals matchup was set, I feel like I've only seen, oh, this is what it's going to take to get into MSG. I haven't seen any of, this is what the Spurs are charging. I'm sure it's not. I'm sure it's not anything I could afford. But like, if you were a Knicks fan and you were absolutely like, I've got to be there, like, this is one of those, okay, I can make that work.
Yeah, it's in that. Yeah, it's more in that range. Like, yeah, I think tickets to game 2, actually, after the Spurs lost game 1, tickets to game 2 got cheap, I guess. And by cheap, I mean like under $1,000, which is actually, in this economy, it actually seems pretty cheap. So yeah, like, yeah, the cheap, yeah, I've been looking at tickets for like, pretty much all the games, and yeah, I would say that, yeah, the Spurs games are, it's significantly more doable to fly to San Antonio. But like, I'm genuinely at this point hoping there are no more games in San Antonio.
This does make me think, and someone brought it up on the Skyline the other night, and we are not a podcast that cares about ratings, just to be clear. But I would imagine that the nights that baseball is being played at the same time as the Knicks, because the Mets were starting at 10 o'clock on Friday night, and that was probably would have at least overlapped with the second half of game 2, I would think.
Yeah,
I gotta imagine these are some of the least watched Mets Yankee games ever.
Yeah, it's
like even when they're bad, it's still on. It's like,
it's still on.
Usually, like, what else are you gonna do? Type situation.
Yeah, it's still on, and like, it's the summertime, so there's just people that are just going to be programmed to like have those games on. So like, you're always going to get that. But yeah,
one of the bars,
Yeah, no, this definitely throws a wrench in there.
I would love to know like what how many people were still watching on Friday night, and we kind of won't even get it. We're recording this on Sunday night. The Mets are off tomorrow, so it won't even be a totally fair thing where both teams are playing. But yeah, I would love to see the ratings overlap between basketball and baseball while the Knicks are on. It's
Yeah,
It's
maybe that TV sports update page has that info.
I,
They're usually more. I mean, at least the stuff that I see that you send me from them is usually more like score bug related. But
yeah.
I'm sure they got some. I'm sure they got some information on that. But I'm sure you're right. Now I did my part on Friday because I got I got a TV in my bedroom and the living room TV. The living room TV is the only one that has like the cable on it. So put the Knicks game on there, and then I had the Yankee game on MLB.TV in the bedroom. So like, I would kind of come and check like periodically during commercials, like what was going on. So I did my part to try to help the Yankees keep their ratings up during that game. I don't know how much. I don't know how much the MLB.TV viewership factors into that, but I
I was
tried.
gonna say.
I
I'm
did
sure
try.
Hal appreciates it.
Yeah. Well, in that case, maybe maybe I shouldn't.
Well, I've been told Stream East is a thing. I read about it in People.
Stream East actually, I think, is not a thing anymore. I think it got shut down, unless it came back.
A reliable source because I'm not going to air people's business out. A reliable source told me it is still running strong.
Oh, and they told you this like recently,
within the past week.
Within the past week. Okay. Yeah, someone who's familiar with the game, I guess.
Yeah.
That I'll have to look into that because to my knowledge, I hadn't been using Stream East since like almost. I thought it had been shut down for like almost a year at this point, but
it might have been this point last year if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, because I remember, because after Stream East, Crack Streams became my go-to, and like, I feel like I'm at a point now where I've been using Crack Streams for about a year. Anyway, in summary, so the Yankees, just. I feel like tomorrow's game is a toss-up for them. Gavin Williams versus Will Warren. I do feel like that one could go either way. We got Cole versus Sassoni on Slade Sassoni on or Sacconi on Tuesday. I think that should be a winnable game for us. And then the rubber matchup is Rodon versus Parker Messick.
It should be really good.
For a Wednesday game at 1:00 has the potential to be absolute cinema if you're into pitchers duels. So I'm sure. I'm not like I said before, I'm not exactly sure what I'm gonna be doing or where I'm gonna be on Wednesday. Still trying to figure everything out. But if nothing else, I'll definitely be seated for at least part of that game, and it should be, I think it's got potential to be a good one.
This will be. I mean, generally that series that you guys had with them this week was pretty entertaining from a regardless of results, was pretty entertaining from a baseball perspective.
Watching. It's always a treat to get to watch Jose Ramirez, even if he's cucking your team. He's a joy to watch. It was all three of those games were pretty good games, so I'm expecting more of the same. I think you have to win the Cole start. And then I think you have to get at least one of the other two, ideally, and then you play Toronto. I think you should have Schlittler on either normal rest or maybe a 6th day, because I think we are off on Thursday. The Yankees went from the Yankees went from having like no days off, like. I feel like in May they were like never off, and now like they have like a lot of days off.
This is the time of year where those start to get built in.
Yeah, and I feel like it's the time of year where you start to need them more. Yeah, and then we go to Toronto. That's always that's always an annoying place to play too, even if they're not having the best year. So but although they are kind of they are kind of still hanging around. They're only a half game out of the wild card, so they're not dead by any means.
And for
Yeah,
what it's worth, like Vlad Jr. has not started hitting yet. That would
yeah.
scare me if
Oh God, yeah. This is like this is totally going to be the series where it starts.
yeah. Well, actually, I say that he's slashing 287, 378,
He just hasn't
374.
he just hasn't been hitting home runs.
Yeah,
He's
he's
been
only got
like
3.
he's basically he only has 3. He's basically turned into like a better Luis Arias.
We may need to clip this for next weekend.
I'm
I
sure.
did not say that. I did not put that on y'all. I just want to be clear.
I said it, and I will stand on it for now. If this comes back to bite me in the ass, which I am growing more and more sure by the second that it will, then I will eat my crow. I've never been one
Funny
to.
enough, we really do need to tip our cap to Ron Washington because he is the Giants infield instructor, and Luis Arias actually plays a passable second base now. Everyone's like, yeah, no one's saying he's Roberto Alomar at second base, but like everyone thought it was a bad idea when they signed him because it's like
He
you
can't
can't play him at first. You have Devers. You can't play him at short. You can't play him at third. You have higher paid guys there. Like he has to play second. It's like this is gonna be bad. Like he didn't rate there at all.
Yeah, he's
a
turned
little
on.
bit of work with Ron Washington, and he's actually passable now.
Yeah, for as much of a disaster as that whole experiment has been with that Tennessee manager over there.
All of it.
At least they have at least they can hold their head on something.
Yeah,
gotta leave with something. I guess that's what we always say around here.
From around the way.
But in closing, before we move on to the Mets, I would just say, I mean the Yankees are now tied for first place, which is a pretty good place to be in right now, given all the circumstances. And we kind of discussed it before we went on air. Like there's no reason this team shouldn't be able to make the playoffs, and even without Judge, I feel like even without Judge, not to say that like the American League is just so weak, and that's not to say that like we can't lose to any of these teams. Like we definitely could, but I feel like as long as Judge comes back and is like right and healthy by the playoffs, like I feel like there's no reason why they shouldn't be able to make it and be able to make a run. So it's just about weathering the storm until then. And we all know how June and July are not kind to us, but, it's kind of the case anyway. So, all things considered, things could be a lot worse.
Yeah, you look at the rest of the AL, and the Central is what it is. The Guardians, we're always going to have one eye on them. And then the West, the Mariners are leading it, but I don't think anyone would look at them and go, okay, yeah, you could definitely put them in pen for the playoffs. They're going to be like week to week. We don't know what this Seattle team is. It seems like they're dealing with injuries. They've got guys with slumps.
See, it seems like you're getting a different Seattle team every week.
And it makes you wonder, like, are they totally over how last year ended? Like, is that playing a part in this?
They're probably not, but also like they're also in such a bad division that it might not matter for them.
That's true. Yeah, the Rangers are a game and a half out right now, and they're a game under 500.
Yep. Yeah, like I do feel like the Mariners, even if it's close right now, I do feel like the Mariners should be able to pull away from those teams and be able to win the West fairly comfortably.
I mean, they've still got some prospects that they could call up or deal to make the go for it type of move.
Yeah, no, they definitely do. Colt Emerson has come up and he's played pretty decently if I'm not mistaken.
Dynasty League owner right here, very happy with Colt Emerson. Let me believe you me.
Yeah, I had him on I'm not in any dynasty leagues, but I had him on one of my teams, and I had him as like a stash when he was a prospect, and then I just got to a point where my team sucked so much and I had too many injuries. I couldn't hold on any longer because he was just like taking up a roster spot that I needed to put to more immediate use. So unfortunately, I'm missing out. I had him, and I'm missing out on the fruits of the labor now. But it's the way she goes, especially in fantasy.
Do be like that sometimes.
Yeah. Speaking of it, do be like that sometimes. It do be like that sometimes when your best player is Carson Benge.
I imagine saying that in public.
Yeah, in public, a public server. But something where your name and your name is easily traceable, and your name is a group chat where your name is often a target,
and is currently being used by 2 other people in jest. To quote one Cat Williams, brother, do you know that I could see you? Anyway, but Carson Benge with a 5-for-5 game today, and
he was a double short of the cycle, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, he was.
Damn, he did all the hard stuff.
Yeah, it's weird. It's usually the triple that eludes most guys. But as I've said throughout the show here for probably about the last month and a half, just let him hit out of this. And
I'd say he has.
And we can officially look at his May line now because May is done. And across 108 at bats in May, 306, 375, 426. And now with the 5-for-5 today, he's hitting 360 in June with 3 home runs already, which is the most he's had in any month. So this is and he's playing.
He's got half of his career home runs this season in June,
and he's close to 1 WAR already, and that's with basically the first month of the season him not really hitting. And
so he had probably
how good his outfield defense is.
He probably had to crawl out of a negative number too.
Now
now he's pushing 1,
and he's got 10 steals already. So this is what we're looking at with Carson Benge after 62 games of his major league career. He's already got 7 home runs, 26 RBI, 10 steals, only been caught twice. And his slugging's now over 400. And you just get the feeling that's only going to get better. And you just got to give him the runway for it. And I realize AJ Ewing hasn't been as cold as Benge was for those first 3 weeks. But AJ Ewing's had a little bit of a dip here over the past 2 weeks. If anything, Carson Benge should give you the confidence to be just he does too much good elsewhere for us to just write him off just because he's got a bad patch at the plate. Just let him hit. And you're seeing it with Benge is the true talent will show you that they can hit out of it. And then you look at first base and I think we're set there.
Yeah. Mark Vientos officially has the worst F WAR in baseball. So
1 walk in the month of May. 1
walk. Jesus, what was his
every day?
Jesus, what was his on base for the month? I mean,
actually, let me go find that.
I mean, it's 248 for the season, which that's pretty bad.
It's his at bats, especially late in games, are frighteningly predictable. Yeah, he had a 239 OBP for May. and he was 0 for 10 for the season or for the month of June entering today, and he had today off. So yeah, he's 0 for 10 for June.
Yeah, he should probably have every day off.
Yeah, his OPS per month at this point, 667, 644, 654, 0.
Yeah. At what point do you just play Jared Young at first every day? I think we might be
I
there.
think we're at that point.
Yeah, I think we're there. I think, and I think we've, over the now almost 2 years that we've, been doing this podcast, you and I, the podcast itself is a little over 2 years old, but you and I have been doing it for, about pushing 2 years now. And
I think at the start of July, it's going to be 2. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's right. And, it's definitely Mark Vientos has been a topic of discussion at many points over these past 2 years. There's been some ups and downs. He's been quite the roller coaster of a player to kind of follow because, I'm not watching every single Mets game, but doing this podcast, I do try to if the Yankees aren't playing or if I don't have anything else going on, the Mets are on, I do try to tune in to be in tune with what they're doing. And it does seem, I feel like, we've had a lot of ups and downs with him, but I feel like we're at the point now. And, I think there have been times where, we've preached patience with him, but I think, that we're kind of done with that. I think we can just kind of say that the experiment with him is over. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you would probably even say if someone else can, figure something out with him, let him.
Yeah, this is one he officially now has 1,283 at bats as a Met. That's not a small sample size. And to cut out 2022 because he only had 36 at bats that year, so I'm not going to hold that against him. He was a rookie.
Right.
But besides that, 218 at bats in 2023. He had a negative 1.1 WAR. 2024, he had 3.2. Last year, 424 at bats, negative 0.2 WAR. This year, 192 at bats, negative 0.8. He will turn 27 in the offseason. This might just be who he is.
Yeah, I feel like, there's enough of a, I feel like there's not enough of a sample size to fully put the nail in the coffin in his career. But I think there's enough of sample size to, you see enough of the trends of where it's been going, and he's kind of never taken that next step. So, I think you're kind of just at that point where it's it's just time for I feel like he just especially if the Mets are trying to salvage this season and get back into any sort of conversation of any sort of conversation of being a 500 team or a wild card team, he just really can't have a meaningful role in it at this point.
Because let me say this, even for as bad as it's been, since that stretch right around Memorial Day weekend where they lost 5 in a row to the Marlins and the Reds. So since May 27th,
it seems like it's always those two teams that
well, not quite the Reds, but the Marlins, yes.
Yeah, well, I say the Reds because the Marlins, the Reds were the team that benefited from the Marlins.
True.
But
since May 27th, they've won 7 of 10. And the 3 losses were to the Mariners in extra innings, the first game.
Yep.
The game on Tuesday night, that game got away. And then the game on Saturday night where they had the lead going in. Yeah, the game last night, they had the lead in the 7th, and Austin Warren got beat in a high leverage spot for the first time all year. So it's not even in the case of where they're just getting smoked or they're not hitting. Although I wouldn't say the offense is fully back by any means. But it was that they lost Well, actually, I stand corrected. The Seattle game that they lost in 10 innings, they had 2 hits. They were both home runs. So even still, the offense is a little stop-start, but I will say this, given the 12-game stretch and the fact that they know it's going to be a fight from that point on, and yet they've had a couple dips since then, but you would think, like, man, this team's going to pack it in at some point. I feel like they would have. Like, there are a lot of things that could be levied against this team. I don't think they've quit. And I think
I don't think they've quit, and I don't think they're going to quit. I think they'll, I don't know if they'll get back in it, but I think they'll be at least hanging around for a while. First
you got to knock us out.
Yeah, they're a team that, you're probably you're gonna have to knock them out, but like they're probably, I would say they could have a decent chance to maybe kind of hang around till like the end of August.
As of recording, they are 5 games out of the last wild card spot, and I know that's like, well, you weren't planning on this at the start of the year. Well, no, but here we are.
Yeah, this is where we're at now.
For as bad as it's gotten at times this year, and as bad as it's sometimes feels like on a nightly basis, out of all that, and the fact that Lindor hasn't played in over a month, and Luis Robert hasn't played in over a month, and all these other things, to be 5 out of a wild card spot,
it could be worse.
It's like, what if they start to get healthy? What if Lindor comes back from injury and he's just back to the guy we know? What if Luis Robert comes back? And I don't even know if that would necessarily be a thing, because you've kind of solved your outfield.
Yeah, you got the psychopaths now.
Yeah, between Benge and Ewing, just let him go. Like,
not that Soto was ever unhappy, but it seems like Soto's probably the happiest he is with the psychopaths out there.
It's pure joy. Yeah, and again, I'm not saying, oh, this is definitely going to happen. And, like I've said, people keep looking for, oh, well, in 2024, this happened. It's like, but like, you can't bank on that. You can't make that a strategy. Like the reason those things are so special is because they're not a strategy.
They're not. It's because, things that are special are like the special things, and the things that the memories you cling to are like the things that weren't even really supposed to happen.
Right.
Like even this Knicks run to the finals, I wouldn't say it came out of nowhere, but I mean, shit, they were down 2-1 to the Hawks, and
right.
They were like, I think they opened the NBA playoffs. They were like one of the longer shots to win the finals. I think they were like plus 2,200 or something like that.
That's nuts.
Yeah. So
I actually don't think I knew that.
Yeah. I saw something about that the other day. They were like, they were one of the longer shots as far as that goes. Like, I think they, the league had fucking like Boston over them. I think even at one point they might have had Cleveland over them, which
that's wild.
I think they had
Harden team. That's wild.
I think they might have had Detroit favored over them. So yeah.
But do I think if certain guys got healthy, and you mesh it together with what Benge is doing and what I think Ewing's capable of doing, and I'll keep saying it, I'm not sold that Jared Young keeps this up for a whole year, but say he does. Say he just has a nice season for a guy that they plucked from Korea last year and hadn't really had much of a major league career before that. Say he has a 20 homer season, which in play, the pitching's been pretty solid, I would say. I do worry that the bullpen will get burnt at some point. Nolan McClain, by the way, because we did talk about this on the last show, decent enough last night. 6 innings, 1 run, 3 hits. The walks are still a little bit of an issue. He had 3 in 6 innings, which isn't terrible, but I want to say he's had at least 2 in every start this year, and that's one of those things where when you look at the very top end guys, and that's what people think he can be, when when you look at the Coles and the Scoobles and the Skeens and the like, you see a lot of zeros and ones in the walk column. And that was a thing that was brought up with him as a prospect was, if anything's going to undermine him, his command isn't as good as you would hope it would be for a guy that has his ceiling. But again, doesn't even have a full season under his belt yet. He could get better at that. But it was nice to see him have that last night after he'd had the first real rough patch of his career to this point. Thought he did pretty well there, and he left with the lead. And like I said, it was the rare instance this year where Austin Warren gets beat in a high leverage spot. He's generally been, dare I say, kind of for as much as this team can have an unsung hero, Austin Warren's kind of been whatever they've needed him to be.
Yeah.
He's done pretty well there this year. So he could have had a win last night, but it was just a rare case of Warren getting beat. Again, the pitching's been solid enough. Peralta's, like we said, could be better, but good. McLean probably figuring it out. Christian Scott had another excellent start on Friday night, and I did see this get brought up on Twitter, and it's something to consider is, not only is he coming off Tommy John, and I didn't know this, he was a reliever in college at Florida. He's never thrown 100 innings at any level in a season. So they were probably going to be playing it careful with him anyway. You've got that on top of it. I guess it would make for an interesting dilemma if the Mets were to get back in this because, what if Scott just keeps throwing these lines out here and it's just like, oh no, this is actually the guy we thought he could be even before the injury. Do you put him on ice just to make sure, like, hey, let's make sure we have this for next year. We want to be able to build a rotation here, and we already have McLean, and having Scott there would really help. Or
I think you got to
hang around long enough for Clay Holmes to get back, and it means something.
Yeah, I think you give Christian Scott the reps. If nothing else, if it is a lost season, you'll at least have a reason to tune in every 5 days when he pitches with the way he's been pitching. I think that for his situation, since he's had this long road back from the injury, the fact that he's figuring it out now, I feel like you got to let him kind of roll with that good juju and stack up those quality starts and stack up good days, good days at the office, so that when you do get back to in 2027 or whenever 2028 or whenever the lockout ends or whenever that time may be for the Mets, that he is a solidified if not your ace, he's a solidified 2 or 3 starter in your rotation.
It makes me think back to something that David Wright talked about in his book. He said the best advice he ever got was from Tony Gwynn. And he said, the time that you should put in the most work in the batting cage is not when you're in a slump. It's when you're hitting well.
Yeah.
Whatever you're doing, do that as much as you can. Whatever's working for you right then, do that in the cage so that it just becomes muscle memory.
And then, then you remember it. And then if you do hit, when you do eventually hit the wall again, you kind of have a better idea of how to work yourself out of it. You weren't just, you're not just guessing, I feel like that's kind of
but this is another situation where this is another situation though, where, like we were talking about before with Judge, the organization has to be able to step in to be you've got to tell us if you feel off. If you think you feel even 88% as opposed to 100, tell us. You are becoming too important for us to lose you for 8 months at a time again.
Yeah,
we need you.
And you do have to, and it does have to make you wonder, the fact that it seems like all these recent injuries he's been getting have been injuries where he's been playing in the field, and he is a very good outfielder. He can cover enough ground in Yankee Stadium, and obviously has a great arm. You're an idiot if you run on Judge. So that is extremely valuable, but how much longer, like how much longer are you doing that for? And like, are you going to get to a point where maybe like, maybe like you just, if you're winning or if you have a big lead, like you just have to, take Judge out or do some maneuvering with your lineup to, get into the DH spot.
Exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, because like, yeah, that's the thing with the way the Yankees are kind of built. That's like a little, it's like a little problematic. And I think JJ alluded to this in the Discord the other day where he's like, oh, it's like we have so many guys who are like kind of do the same things, and like it's like we have so many guys that would just be like great DHs, like obviously Stanton when he's healthy. Ben Rice is the DH now because Paul Goldschmidt is Paul Goldschmidt accidentally became important at his job this year. Unk still got it. And yeah, kind of like limits like the guys they can go after. Like I think he was basically saying like, oh yeah, like we have Stanton, so like we'll never go after like Kyle Schwarber or something to that degree.
I mean, like hell, like Goldschmidt honestly would be a really good DH.
Yeah, he would be a very good DH, and like if Judge's if the way Judge's career is trending, like it looks like he could be trending towards becoming a DH. I even saw some talk about, like, him eventually becoming a first baseman. So, it'll be interesting to see how much more, obviously I think we still do have at least a few more years of prime Judge left, but how many more years of like prime Judge in right field do we have? I feel like that number could be, I feel like that number could be dwindling.
Because this is his age 33 season, right?
I believe so, or I forget when exactly his birthday is, but I think if he's not 34 already, he's going to be 34.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he's 34, I believe.
Yeah, this is one of those things that's like people forget, like he was a college draft pick and it took him a minute to get up.
Yeah.
Pause.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I think he was drafted, or I forget exactly when he got drafted, but I remember like I first heard of him as like a prospect, I would say in like 2013 or something like that. But speaking of Freddie Peralta, I did see that because you had mentioned him before. I did see that he is supposedly seeking a Max Fried-like contract. Like he wants like an 8-year, $200-ish million deal.
I am also seeking Dua Lipa's hand in marriage. I am aware she just got married.
Well, I guess that answers the question of would you be down?
No.
I mean, I know you're down for Dua Lipa, but yeah, not down to give Freddie Peralta, who can't get out of the 6th inning, that bag.
I want you to go look at what Max Fried's consistently done.
He does
what Max Fried's done in the playoffs.
He does give you 6 innings if nothing else when he's healthy. So there is that.
Yeah, the Pep Guardiola clip. I need that. We need this.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, I would. Like I said, I'm still not. I'm not on the horn to everybody about like, oh, we'll just give you Peralta, but. And I also don't want this to end up being a thing where it's like, oh, well, why did they trade for him? Like, no, he's been good. His performance I would put at a B-.
Yeah, no, his performance warrants it.
The process for trading for him was correct.
Yeah.
Like, who knew that, like, all these things were going to stack up in January? We didn't. Like, at the time, that was the right idea. It just didn't work out. Like, sometimes you can make the right move and it doesn't work out. So
yeah, dealing with the Brewers kind of seems like dealing with the devil almost. Like I saw a tweet and it was like oh, because I forget, the Brewers made some like minor trade like fairly recently.
Oh, with the A's,
Yeah. I think didn't the A's give them a pitcher for like cash considerations or a player to be named later or some shit like that. And I saw someone tweet like, "Oh, if the Brewers call you wanting a pitcher, you got to hang up on the ass
and figure out what you're doing wrong."
Yeah. So yeah, I kind of feel like that applies in the inverse. Like if they're trying to trade you a pitcher, maybe they know something. Number
Yeah, that's
one. Yeah, like
the Rays used to be that. It's like if the Rays are asking
exhibits
for one of your relievers, you're doing something wrong.
yeah. Exhibits A and B, Devin Williams and Freddie Peralta. Although Devin Williams, I mean he did close out the game today. I think he did give up one run, but he needed to get the work.
Yeah, it was slightly bumpy, and admittedly, yes, he had to blow up the day before Memorial Day in Miami. Since then, clean inning against the Reds, although that was an Edwin Diaz special. Loaded the bases with 3 walks and then struck out 3. Then he was fine against the Marlins.
It was clean. It was like you made the mess, but you cleaned it up before your wife got home.
It's like when you get the math problem right in school and the teacher's like, yes, your answer is correct, but you went about it all wrong.
Oh yeah, like you took the wrong route.
Yeah, that was exactly what that was.
Yeah.
But then he had a scoreless inning against Miami last weekend. He had a scoreless inning in the extra inning game against Seattle. And then today, to be fair to him, it had been almost a week without an appearance. They were up 7-2, so you're putting a closer in a non-closing situation. I saw this happen with Edwin Diaz too many times, and I know he's not the only one, because I know I've heard other people talk about this. So, yeah, you're putting a closer in a non-closer situation after 6 days. Like, yeah, it was never going to be 1, 2, 3. That's never how it goes.
It's probably not. It's not even really supposed to. Like, if anything, that was like an outing for him to kind of work some kinks.
So basically, since April 23rd, he's had one bad outing. The blow up in my. I mean, even the red one, even the one against the Reds, 3 loads the bases with 3 walks, not great. Got out of it.
Yeah.
The only outing that really bit him was the Miami game. That's it. And I know people will look at the general numbers and go, still not great. And I would say, yeah. Could he have been better? Yeah. Am I going to say that he's the reason that this has went to hell? Absolutely not. The pitching staff generally has been pretty absolved here. This year has been on the offense.
Yeah, you got bigger problems than Devin Williams right now. I did want to say regarding Carson Benge, I mean, it does seem like he's embracing the leadoff role pretty well as of late. I mean, he, I think with him batting first, I think, if you want to stack lefties and have Soto bat second, or, if you wanted to, or if you wanted to alternate and have him bat third, I think that's kind of the way. But I think right now, Benge has probably earned the right to be the everyday leadoff hitter till further notice.
It's working. So, I just leave that as is. I personally don't even hate the idea of, and they did this with Benge. I think after he started to get it going, like we talked before that, when they did this with Lindor in 2024, part of it was not only were they trying to jumpstart the whole offense, they were trying to jumpstart him, and it worked. I wonder if part of me thought that they need to move Bo Bichette down in the order, because I know he's had a decent couple weeks here. I still don't think he should be hitting second, given how hot and cold he can run.
Yeah.
I almost would kind of like to see AJ Ewing get the challenge here where, all right, you're going to have your fellow prospects batting in front of you. You've got Juan Soto behind you. We'll see what happens, what the rest of the lineup looks like as they start to get healthier, but you might have Francisco Lindor hitting behind you.
Let's see what you can do. Let's see what you can do with proper protection.
And we've seen early on, Ewing has a good eye. So it's not as if this would be misplaced. You've got someone who has that skill set. Now, I do think he is working on. We've talked about guys get a book on you, and then you've got to get a counter. I think AJ Ewing's going through that right now. But if the eye holds up, why not have him and Benge at the top of the lineup? Because we know Ewing, by all accounts, Ewing might be faster than Benge, and Benge has 10 steals. You sure you wouldn't want to have those two at the top? creating havoc on the bases with Soto and Lindor behind that? Why not?
Yeah, suddenly the offense could potentially, like, if it works, they might be, I don't know if they're brave enough to make that move with Ewing right now, but it could definitely be worth looking into.
And heck, like I said,
and if it doesn't work,
maybe
you just put him back at 7th or wherever he's been hitting.
Like maybe you put Bichette 6, like maybe that frees him up. Like maybe it allows him to change his game plan, and maybe that gets him back.
Yeah, maybe just switch their 2 spots in the lineup.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, these are the things you got to try when you're not. I mean, the Mets have been winning games lately, but like when you're not winning and you're not hitting, those are the things you got to try.
This offense still feels like on any given night, it's like, okay, are they going to show up tonight, or are we going to be on no hitter watch in the 5th inning? It's a coin flip every night. It was honestly, I was kind of surprised that they won 2 out of 3 games this weekend where they hit Michael King and they hit Randy Vasquez, who have generally been pretty good.
Yeah, they've been. Yeah, they got to face off against a lot of former Yankee pitchers this weekend. I saw Ron Marinaccio made an appearance today.
He was carrying the heavy innings today.
Yeah. I forget.
Ironically enough,
I don't remember him being part of the Soto trade, though.
Vasquez was, right?
Yeah, Vasquez was, and Michael King most definitely was.
Oh yeah,
but I don't think Ron Marinaccio was part of it, but he just ended up there, I guess.
I think that's right. Ironically, and I called this, the one pitcher they didn't really hit in this series, Griffin Canning.
Yeah, of course.
Who understandably has not had a good year. Again, coming off the Achilles, I get it. But I saw the pitching matchups in advance, and I'm like, that's 7 innings, 2 hits, no runs. I know that's coming.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you feel about
they weren't stellar either?
Yeah. How do you feel about like the Mets and their how they'll fare with the pitching matchups they have in the coming week?
Well, they'll have Freddie Peralta on Tuesday night, which again generally been pretty good, and he was pretty good in Seattle too. They'll face Dustin May to start the St. Louis series, which there's a guy that could be anything in any given start.
He's kind of been on a little bit of I think his past couple of starts, he's been on like a little bit of like an insanity run.
Oh, he had a legit no-hit bid a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
He went 5 2/3 on Tuesday night. He was struck out 9. He was 1 out shy of a quality start on Tuesday night. He had 2 hits over 7 innings against Milwaukee before that, struck out 9. Went 5 1/3 against the Pirates, struck out 7. Had a quality start before that. Quality start. He. The thing that probably has his ERA inflated was he got absolutely destroyed in his first 2 starts. Since then, he's given up more than three runs one time. Like basically since the first week of April, he's generally been all right. Is he ever going to be the guy that he was billed as when he came up with the Dodgers? Probably not. Can he be a decent starting pitcher? We're kind of seeing it.
Yeah.
So, and then Wednesday is Christian Scott against Andre Palante, who I believe they faced in St. Louis. They did, and he threw 5 shutout innings. So there's that. And he's been okay. He's got an ERA just under 4. And then Thursday is Nolan McLean against New York's favorite or your guy's favorite pitcher, Hunter Dobbins.
Yeah.
And he's he's only made 3 starts, and this will be his 3rd coming back from the injured list.
The guy was the guy who lied about his didn't he lie about his dad?
Yeah,
or something.
It was like he wasn't actually in the Diamondbacks organization, something like that.
Yeah, that's right.
And then next weekend we have the Braves.
Yeah, y'all better win that one.
Yeah, it's Friday night. It's listed as Manaea, but that's going to be a bulk guy in front of him, and
probably what you think Huascar Brazelban?
The Brass man.
That's usually how they've been doing it, right?
And Sean Manaea again today. Good enough. They'll face Spencer Strider on Friday, who I feel like during the length of his career, it's the Randy Johnson corollary. Either he absolutely dominates us or we get him out of there before the end of the third inning. It only ever goes one of two ways.
No in between.
No in between. Saturday, there's no pitcher listed yet. And the Braves are throwing Bryce Elder, who I only ever hear Braves fans talk about Bryce Elder the way I talk about Tyler McGill. He's got an ERA of 2.66. These people don't deserve happiness, I'm telling you.
Braves fans are acting like he's 2026 Griffin Canning.
Yeah, it's disgusting. He's got a whip just over 1, mind you.
I guess I guess he's one of those players that produces good results, but maybe it's not enjoyable to watch.
In their defense, before this year, he had absolutely earned that reputation.
Yeah.
So maybe this is them waiting for the other shoe to drop, because yes, prior to that, that was the one Brave starter where you're like, well, if we're gonna get one game in this series, it better be him. I do remember him. It was one of the playoff series that they had against the Phillies where he started, and I think through like 3 innings had retired like the first 9. And apparently every Braves fan was like, take him out right now. You're not going to do better than this. And then they teed him because it was in Citizens Bank, and they went off. And then Sunday will be Freddie Peralta again against Grant Holmes, who is all right. That kind of feels like the one of, with Strider, it could go either way. If we had a healthier lineup, I'd feel a little better about facing Strider. But, we are where we are.
Mm-hmm.
So those first 2 games, they are what they are. Sunday, we would have a chance to hit Holmes. Also, this is the first time we're facing the Braves this year, so kind of worrisome to know what our pitching is going to do against that lineup. I mean, because Matt Olson just absolutely shoves against us. Acuna's always dominated us. Ozzie Albies, we always feel like a get-right series for him.
Yeah. I mean, he's overall just having a pretty good year.
But I feel like Austin Riley always kills us. So
yeah, I feel like he's kind of fallen off, Austin Riley.
Yeah, a keeper league owner in my league with Tigers Tyler. I got Austin Riley early, and I'm like, well, that's third base set. I don't have to worry about that. Good thing I did take Kevin McGonigal in that league because I'm playing him there a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, but Kevin McGonigal, I feel like, is like the one bright spot for the Tigers right now.
We are going to have some very fun Rookie of the Year races this year. I've kind of been keeping, somewhat of an eye on it, at least from like an odds perspective. And right now, Kevin McGonigal is like the favorite. It's not quite an overwhelming favorite, but it's like if he keeps playing like this, he's going to run away with it. Well, actually, no, I stand corrected because Murakami just went on the IL, right?
Yeah, I'm sure that plays into it too. And yeah, Travis Bazzana is actually like third as far as the odds go.
And Parker Messick still qualifies because he came up, I think, around the end of August last year. So he technically still qualifies for this too. And we mentioned in the last episode, I think Parker Messick's got a shot of being in the top 5 for the Cy Young this year. So that would make it interesting. And we just mentioned Colt Emerson. He just came up within the past 3 weeks. He's got a chance to run some numbers up too.
Yeah. So it'll definitely get more interesting, I think, before it gets uninteresting. And then it's like JJ Weatherholt, Sal Stewart, and Nolan McLean's making a pretty strong case too.
Yeah, they got him at plus 550, and Carson Benge is at 40-1 for the moment.
Yeah.
And Connor Griffin's still at plus 700, but he's also IL'd too, right?
Yeah, he's currently on the IL.
What a brutal week for the Pirates injury wise, man.
Yeah, injury wise, and they just got swept by the Braves.
Well, and then, apparently there was good news about Brandon Lau today.
Yeah, it's not like
it might not be as bad.
Yeah, it's not like a catastrophic season-ending injury or anything.
Which is what it absolutely looked like.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, admittedly, I didn't actually see what happened. But
I mean, they had to carry him off. It was bad. It's like I've seen that injury before.
Oh yeah.
But on a happier note, let's do what everyone's been waiting to see.
Let's do it.
Let's hop on the trend of the week.
Yep. So so if you are a sports fan and you are online, which are two things we could probably assume that you are if you happen to be tuning into this. You're definitely online because you're consuming this online, and you're probably a sports fan because you're listening to a sports podcast. You've probably seen the basketball version of the 82-0 game, basically where you spin a thing and you have to fill out a starting five. You pick a player from each team to be that position for your team. And it'll be like a team in a decade. So it'll be like 2010's Miami Heat, LeBron James, or 2020's Knicks, Jalen Brunson, or whatever, right? And then the objective is to build the team to go 82-0. And there is a baseball version of it to go to build a team to go 162-0. It is on the diamond-draft.app. So we are going to attempt to build a baseball team. Hey, Mike, do you think a baseball team could go 162-0? I'll hang up and listen. 162-0. So I was thinking for this, did you want to do we'll build it together, and we'll work together to build it, and
Absolutely.
but maybe we'll alternate who makes the selection each time.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
All right, let's do that. So I'll share my screen here in a second. Should we do classic mode where you can see their stats, or should we do hard mode with the stats hidden?
I gotta say, I've gone to hard mode for basketball, but I haven't done it as much for 162-0. So why don't we leave it on classic mode at least for this time?
Yeah, that's probably if we do well, we'll do a hard mode on the next episode or something. But I agree, because I'll say that the first time I tried doing this, I did it on hard mode, and I accidentally built the worst baseball team of all time. I think it was a 34 win team or something like that. Yeah, I had Sandy Koufax and Mike Piazza and Luis Gonzalez, and then just I don't know, and then just a bunch of burgers. Probably better to keep stats on.
Okay, and right. I think this might be different than the one I saw, because whichever version I was using, it was okay, do you want the parameters to be the modern era, starting from the 80s only? Do you want to include 60s, or do you want to include all time? So I didn't even see that come up here. So this might actually be a different version.
Yeah. This is all time. I think they have daily challenges where you can do I think they have daily challenges where it's you could do limited to certain decades, but for the purpose of for the purpose of this exercise, we'll do an all-time draft. So basically we're building a starting nine. So we're building a starting nine, plus DH, starting pitcher and relief pitcher. So we'll do the spins, and then did you want to take the first one, or want me to take the first one, or?
You had the good sense to capitalize on this right now on the week that it's debuted in popularity. The floor is yours.
All right, we'll spin away the 2010 Philadelphia Phillies. All right, so quite a few options. Obviously you could. I feel like you could definitely. You could definitely just knock out starting pitcher and go with Cliff Lee if you wanted to.
Or Roy Halladay.
Yeah, Roy Halladay is here. Yep, he is. Rest in peace. Yeah, so a lot of pitching options. There's also Bryce Harper, who has a lot of versatility in this because he can play first base, any outfield position, and DH. I guess Joey Bats was a Philly at like the beginning of the 2010s.
No. This was that was 2018, where I think he played for 3/5 of the NL East in 1 year. Because I think he was on. He definitely played with us. I was at a game that he homered in for us, and the Braves and the Phillies. I think all in the same year.
Damn,
pretty sure it was his last year too.
Yeah, Jim Thome was a Philly in the 2010s. That must have been very early 2010s.
2012, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Hunter Pence, Corey Dickerson, Jay Bruce,
Charlie Morton before he got good.
Yeah. Reese Hoskins, go fuck yourself.
Fuck out of here.
It gets. Yeah, and then the list goes on. Chase Utley is an option too. So a lot of options, but I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go pitching here, and I think I'm gonna go with Cliff Lee because he seems to have the best. He seems to have the best overall body of work for the 2010s for the Phillies.
I don't hate that.
All right, so we'll do that, and then. We will spin. We got the 1920s Philadelphia Phillies. So the floor is yours, I guess.
Oh boy. Honestly, it might just come down to who has the funniest name.
Yeah. Lefty O'Doul definitely
on here already.
Yeah, Lefty O'Doul is a candidate.
Irish Musel.
That's a
Ray
good one.
Grimes, which just makes me think of Frank Grimes.
Dink O'Brien.
Chicken Hawk.
You can do. There's another Cliff Lee. Apparently, you can do the whole Cliff Lee team. Chicken Hawks.
How did that never get brought up? That Cliff Lee, the pitcher, was not even the first Cliff Lee in Phillies history. That's Casey Stengel was what? This is me learning that in real time. Wow.
Yeah, me too.
Wait. Go back up for a second. Was there a Pinky Whitney?
Yeah, there sure is.
Little does he know. Chicken Hawks that is amazing. Can you say what were Chicken Hawks' stats? I'm dying to know.
Let's see. He played 146 games, bat .316, 7 homers, 60 RBIs, 3 stolen bases, 830 OPS. So decent OPS and batting average. Doesn't look like he had a whole lot of power though. So it might not be the best option for. It is dead ball. Might not be the best option for your first baseman or DH though.
Yeah. This is gonna be one of those, like, unless a guy is just so. Actually, Lefty O'Doul's numbers look pretty good from what I can see.
Lefty O'Doul's numbers are pretty damn good. He 325 games, which I guess equates to 2 seasons, although I'm not sure how many games they played back then, like in a regular season.
I want to say it was like 140.
Okay. So this probably would equate to like 2.5 or 2.25. seasons, but 325 games, a 360 average, 40 home runs, 177 RBIs, 11 steals, and then a 969 OPS. So
And Cy
overall,
Williams, I see he's got a 310 average, over 200 homers. What's his OPS?
908.
Ooh.
And he's got 1,239 games. So, I'm not sure exactly how that's weighted, like how many games a player played, but, maybe
Yeah.
the fact that he played more games weights in your favor.
It seems like he was able to put up more numbers for longer.
Yeah.
If he was able to play 1,200 games.
Yeah. So
he's either got 38 steals or 58 steals. So
50.
All right, so a credible stolen base threat with an OPS over 900 and 200 homers in that time. I think Cy Williams has to be our pick here.
Okay. And then the question becomes, do you want to put him in center or right or DH?
I want to leave DH open because I feel like we're going to hit a point where we're going to hit a modern era team where it's like, oh, well, that's an obvious DH candidate. We'll just slide that in there. And I want to keep center field open because I feel like center field's got to be your best of the best types. So let's just stick Cy Williams in right.
Yeah, I agree with that thinking. All right. We will spin it again. I believe it landed on the 2000s Giants, but I'll scroll up to confirm that in just a second. Oh, the 1970s Oakland A's. So yeah, Rollie Fingers, who was a great closer. You got Reggie Jackson, but might want to leave DH open.
Dick Allen, who just went in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Dick Allen.
Don Baylor, who could be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, McCovey.
This is me learning in real time that Willie McCovey was an A. I did not know that. I thought
and apparently he was an A for like the whole decade because he played on 1,166 games.
Wow. That is.
Yeah, I am probably leaning. I think I'm leaning Rollie Fingers here. Just get the get the bullpen solidified. We could, is there a chance? Reggie Jackson Reggie Jackson's great, but I think, no disrespect, but I think we could do better for a DH, and that's because we filled right field. Like that seems to be his only eligibility. And I feel like teams that have like great closers like that are the likelihood of those teams like coming up in the spin are probably less likely. So I think I'll go with Rollie Fingers just to solidify the closer.
When Rollie Fingers retired, he was credibly a top 3 closer ever. And admittedly, the closer position didn't have that long of a run at that point, but I would still think Rollie Fingers is probably one of the 10 best closers ever.
Yeah.
Like he's certainly an earned Hall of Famer. Absolutely deserves to be there. Also, on vibes alone for the stash.
Yeah. So we'll go with that. Yeah, I actually just recently unlocked the Rollie Fingers card in MLB The Show, and
nice.
He's fun. He's fun to play with. Obviously doesn't have the velocity that the newer age players have, but you can still definitely do some work with him. So far, Cliff Lee, Cy Williams, and Rollie Fingers. So far, I have built our pitching staff, and it's been you building up the lineup, and you will continue to bear that burden as we do our next spin here. And where did it land? We got the 2010s Tigers.
Ooh.
Might have to give Tyler a call.
I think Miggy's the only choice here. The only question is, where do we want to put him?
I think I'd put him at first, probably.
I don't hate that. Yeah, to me, Miggy is the second greatest right-handed hitter of my lifetime. I never got to watch Hank Aaron, so I certainly respect it. But to me, it's Pujols and Miggy, and then it's everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you can't go wrong. Yeah, and I think I think first base is probably the best place for him to play. All right, so so we got a pretty we just added one of the better bats of all time to our lineup, so can't go wrong there. Now we got my turn, the 2000s Nationals.
Which also includes the Expos.
Yep. So Expos / Nationals. Didn't know that Alfonso Soriano played for the Expos / Nationals. I mean, I'm pretty
2006 for one. He had a 40-40 year for them.
Oh wow! And I guess he was there for a while because he.
No, that was the 1 year because he was.
Oh, okay. I see. So I guess it's because I'm like looking at the number of games played, and I guess like that's how many games they played in that decade, but it wasn't necessarily
because I looked it up. Willie McCovey was an A for 1 year.
Yeah, and then it said he played like 1,100 games.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Soriano was with the Rangers for the 2 years after the A-Rod trade, and then Texas traded him to Washington because the Rangers owners at that time were some broke boys. Ask me how I know. They were the owners of Liverpool before the Red Sox owners. They almost bankrupted Liverpool.
Before Fenway took over, and that would explain how you know.
He was a national it was his last year before free agency, and then he went to the Cubs. So but he had a 40-40 year in Washington. That I do remember.
Yeah. So I'm definitely between Vlad Sr. and Alfonso Soriano. The only reason I feel like it's even a debate between the two is because you can only put Vlad at DH. Alfonso Soriano, he could either be a second base, left fielder, or a DH. Now, I think Vlad Guerrero is objectively the better player, but I think that because this is the Yankees, because I'm representing the Yankees on this podcast.
Fair enough.
And because of the more position versatility, I'm going to go with Alfonso Soriano, and I'm going to put him at the old second base.
We'll trade defense for offense here. I get it.
Yeah.
That's a tough right side of the infield.
Yeah.
We're winning games 8-7 here. It's fine.
Yeah. It's all right. We got enough swing and miss stuff with our pitching staff. The goal is for them to not even have to field anything.
Right.
All right, next we have Kansas City Royals of 1960s. Oof. Got Lou Piniella.
Oof.
See, this is this is the era of baseball I admittedly do not know a lot about.
They also weren't that good.
They're also pretty bad. Admittedly, if I was playing this by myself, I would probably just pick Lou Piniella because it's the only name I actually really recognize.
Yeah, Wait, leave it at the top real quick because they generally tend to leave the best number. Let's see, Joe Foy.
Yeah, it does seem to sort by. I think it's sorted. I wonder what it's sorted by, or if it's sorted maybe it's their. It probably sorts by their WAR for that. Or their.
I would
rating.
think they had Miguel Cabrera first for Detroit.
Yeah, and you can also change what you want to sort it by. So if you wanted to see who had the most home runs or OPS or whatever, I could So if there's a stat you want to see who the best was.
Let's go by OPS here. I know those were the expansion years of the Royals, so they really didn't have a whole lot.
Yeah, so Mike Fiore seems to have the best OPS with a 823 OPS. Kind of a small sample size, though. He only played 113 games in that decade.
And he's also only DH eligible, and I don't want to waste it there.
So, yeah, it's not fantastic. Then you got Scott Northey, who has a smaller sample size. Looks like he was a bench player. I don't know, maybe just someone they called up to play a few games.
Yeah.
Frederico only played 12 games. Pinella, Pinella played 145 games, has 732 OPS. Joe Foy seems like he kind of seems like he has the most. He kind of seems like he has the best OPS with like a qualifying sample size because he played 576 games.
It's strange because Lou Piniella like actually had a good playing career. This was just the very beginning of it.
Yeah. Yeah, so Joe Foy could be the move if you wanted to put him at third. I don't know if you wanted to leave third base open.
Having looked at Joe Foy's, I'm looking at his Wikipedia page right now. He actually was on the 1970 Mets, but he was born 7 blocks from Yankee Stadium.
Yeah,
He grew up a Brooklyn Dodger fan though, so there's that.
Yeah, it seems like he might. It seems like he might be the choice based on that.
Yeah, just like if we're trying to get in, if we're trying to construct the best team we can here.
Yeah. I
initially thought like have Piniella on there just because he ended up being a good player anyway. Although I don't know if future performance affects that, but
I feel like it's probably just the decade that you're picking from.
Yeah, in that case, it probably has to be Joe Foy then.
All right, and then would we? You want to put him at third and leave DH open?
That's the move.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so our infield is almost we've almost got a full infield. We got our game 1 starter and our we got our game 1 and 7 starter. We got our we got our closer, got our right fielder, and we got 3 out of our 4 infielders. Let's see what is next.
Boots Day.
That's a name. Grade. Yeah, this has to be an early era team. 1960s Cardinals.
Not bad though. Look what you got to pick from here.
Yeah, you do have quite a bit to pick from. I think
Joe Torre won an MVP.
He did. I think I'm between Roger Maris and Joe Torre here. Also would say that Orlando Cepeda is under consideration. I might go, I kind of want to, be like a homer and go with Roger Maris or
you also
Torre.
have the second greatest base stealer of all time in there too. Lou Brock.
Oh shit! Yeah, I kind of overlooked him. Yeah, you do have that, and it would make up for that bad defense on the right side of the infield, having him in left.
True.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'll go. Yeah, I think I'll go with because I was thinking maybe Joe Torre just to get catcher out of the way because that one can be dicey.
Yeah, I mean, and he was a legitimately good catcher. That would.
And then and then it was you see Roger Maris's name and you're like, well, it's hard to say no to that.
Right.
So there are a lot of choices, but I think the move I'm gonna go with is I think I'm gonna go with Joe Torre just to get catcher solidified.
No, that's fair.
And Yankee connection. So
it's works. Like when you play 82-0 and you see a good center. It's like this may not be guaranteed on every role. Let me just put Moses Malone in here and be done with it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's like or even when you're doing a fantasy draft, it's if you're in a position where it makes sense to take one of the better catchers. I mean, if you were in a position, I mean, I don't know if you do it now, but before the season started, like if you're in a position to take Cal Raleigh and it like makes sense, it's like, all right, let me do this so I don't end up with like Austin Hedges or something.
Let me take William Contreras. I'm good.
Yeah. All right. You, sir, get the 1950s Oakland Athletics. We need a shortstop, a left fielder, a center fielder, and a DH.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like shortstop's another one of those positions, like, you may just want to like solidify when you have a chance. And, Ray Boone has a pretty nice body of work, it looks like.
Can we arrange that by OPS again, or is it still doing that?
Yeah, it's arranged by it's sorted by OPS now. Bob Serve has he has the highest OPS amongst I'd say qualified hitters.
Okay.
Yeah, Bob Wellman does not have enough games or at bats to qualify. Ferris Fain, definitely a name, but he can only play DH. So
yeah, we got to keep.
Probably.
Gus Zernial, that might have to be our left fielder. It's an OPS over 800 and over 200 home runs, at least in the decade, it looks like.
All right. Yeah, let's do it. Gus in left. All right.
Can't say I ever knew about him until right now, but
just judging by the numbers. All right, we need a shortstop, center fielder, and designated hitter. Please give us a good team in a good decade. All right, 2010's Giants. Now we're cooking.
We can work with that.
Yeah, we can definitely make something happen here. So, yeah, you got Andrew McCutchen because all of his Pirates and everything he did in the 2010s counts for this. Andrew McCutchen is definitely an option. The Milkman, Melky, Carlos Beltran. I think I gotta go with Kutch though.
If only because you're going to get more of a stolen base threat here with Kutch than I would go for Beltran because of the Met connection. But in the 2010s, he wasn't as much of a base stealer as he was before. Kutch was still doing that.
Oh, yeah.
Also, Kutch a Yankee, so.
Yeah, he does. He was a Yankee for 5 minutes. And I enjoyed his time with the Yankees. I'm not sure if that's a hot take or not, but.
It's possible to dislike him. So.
Yeah. All right, 2 more spins. Shortstop, and we're down to shortstop and DH. And you are on the clock. 2020 San Francisco Giants.
Okay.
So you're basically between either Willie Adames or one of these many DH options.
Well, he's not going to like it, but I'm going to take Rafael Devers and make him the DH. Now he won't like it, but.
All right, and then closing it out. Our shortstop, 2010's Rangers. So I think it's got to be Ian Desmond here, unless I don't know how much we're valuing, unless we want to value stolen bases.
Yeah, and I don't know how much defense is valued in here too.
Yeah, Michael Young is intriguing as well as Asdrubal Cabrera, but
I did not know he was a Ranger. I got to be honest.
Yeah, I feel like Ian Desmond has the best overall body of work here, though. Like he's got the most.
That was post Washington Ian Desmond, so you talk about guys who fumbled the bag. Like I think going into his contract here, everyone assumed Ian Desmond was going to get 9 figures, and then it just did not happen.
Yeah, like he's got the most home runs by far out of these guys, most ribbies by far.
Most steals?
It doesn't – yeah, I think he does have the most steals, although I don't think it lets you sort it by steals. But, yeah, he has more steals than any of these other guys. So, No, Elvis Andrews has 269 steals.
Oh, my bad.
Desmond has
My bad.
180. But I think if we're looking at overall body of work here, all their OPSs kind of hover in the 700s. He has significantly more home runs than most of these guys.
But if you're getting 2010 Z and Desmond, you're also getting the good Washington years. So there's that.
Yeah, and I think I'm gonna take. I think I'm gonna take his power and his home runs over Elvis Andrews' slightly higher batting average and more stolen bases. So, yeah, I'll go with Ian Desmond.
I'm kind of fascinated to see where this ends up. I think we did a pretty good job here.
All right, 94 and 68, not too bad.
Okay, hey, you got a decent shot of winning your division with that, Mark.
Yeah, we built. I mean, it may not be the. It may not be. This may not be like any sort of all-time team, but definitely a playoff team. Definitely a team that could. Definitely a team that can make some noise and compete for a championship.
And especially since one of our roles was an expansion decade. So
yeah,
I think we did okay.
We could have done a lot worse, but yeah, it says our team batting average 283,
okay,
837 OPS. I guess they project our lineup to have 168 home runs, 575 ribbies, and 74 steals over 162 game season.
Okay. Staff ERA of under 3.
Less than 3. A staff whip just over 1.
All right.
43 wins, just under 700 strikeouts, and just under 30 saves. So, yeah, not too bad. Let's see. And then it's saying optimal lineup from your spin. So I guess this is to say what you got exactly right. And then right player, and then the yellows are right player, wrong spot. And then I guess if there's nothing there, then that means they think you took the wrong guy. But
well, who were we supposed to do for the Phillies then?
Over
McCutcheon, because he does qualify for the Phillies. That's right.
That's right. Yeah, they're saying he was the right guy, wrong spot. But I mean, I feel like this is just kind of like
Bob Gibson. Well, Bob Gibson wasn't even on the table for us by the time that we got there. That's why.
Yeah. So this is just like hindsight being 2020. Like they're telling you what you should have done, but you didn't know who you were gonna get. But I guess that's like how it would have been better. But make sure that's gonna do it for us. Make sure you're subscribe to the Middle Initial Podcast. Subscribe to our channel here on YouTube. Subscribe to the Patreon. Go to TeePublic, Flavorful Goods to get some Knicks merch from Curtis. I'm trying to think other housekeeping stuff. Let's go Knicks. Let's go Yankees. Let's go Mets. Knicks in 4. And we'll see you on the next one. Peace.
See ya.